If you guys have questions, you can put a emoji in the chat or to raise your hand, or you can type up your question in the chat, and then we'll just unmute you so you can ask the question. So the CFTC is the Commodities Futures Trade Commission, which is like gold. So it regulates gold, silver, corn, oil, things like that. And the commodity is just something that has a universal price wherever you go. So it can be anywhere in the world, they still have the same price, whether it's gold, silver, corn, and whatever it is, wheat, soy.
Eat turkey.
You don't want turkey?
I mean, I eat it, but I may make a turkey sandwich the next day. But
I got you. Go ahead.
Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a pound for like
I'm trying to.
$14,
$16 a pound.
I just did. I muted her. Okay.
Roasted turkey.
So
If they still
the
have-
Security Exchange Commission is the SEC,
What else?
and basically they regulate securities, whether that's stocks, bonds, mortgage-backed securities, things like that. And I want to stay on subject about the Clarity Act. So let's start with
We had a brisket.
the CFTC and what they deem a commodity when it comes to crypto. Anything that's dealing with decentralized payments and stable coins. And you don't. This is my opinion. You can go read it, and you will see what I'm saying. Basically,
waiting for
they will have jurisdiction over those
Some more
commodities.
concrete,
Anything
like
that's
I
dealing
said,
with decentralized
this.
payments and stable coins.
You go out to
And
get
I
something
think
to
our
eat,
next
stay in to get
meeting will
something
be about stable coins. I don't want to
to
talk on that too much because that's another conversation. And probably I'll give you guys examples of what a commodity look like when it comes under the Clarity Act. The Security Exchange Commission, SEC, they're saying
on Christmas?
we want to regulate all crypto that's dealing with tokenization, DeFi, and staking. So the thing is, all these cryptos are commodities. But if you can make money from these cryptos, whether that's DeFi, tokenization, or staking, then it becomes a security under the Clarity Act, not the Howey test.
Steaks.
So now, with the SEC, they want you to be accredited when it comes to that. And that accreditation, if you look at their website, you'll see that, either you got to be worth $2 million or $2 million asset under management, or you got to be accredited under your knowledge when it comes to the Series 65, Series 7, Series 63, those type of examples. So,
what are you doing?
With that being
I'm
said,
talking to you.
only way you determine what it's a security is reading the white papers and what it does.
You speak.
So an example of a security when it comes to crypto,
it's not a thing, Yahira. This is
projects
yes or
like
no.
Ethereum, when it comes to tokenization, projects like HBAR, what else? Polygon, that's another.
About your opinion
anything dealing with institutions like Rails, that's a huge Canton network, Mantra. Those type of projects are dealing with tokenization and staking. That's another term of security because you're making money with this asset. So now when it comes to CFTC, what they're saying is decentralized payments and stable coins. So the examples of that will be like Tailcoin, which is dealing with, banking and digital banking and things like and peer-to-peer payments. Stronghold, which is another huge one when it comes to being decentralized payments and stable coins. And Stronghold is a stable coin, but I'll break that down, like I say, next conversation.
So
what kind of fish you like, Anthony?
It doesn't matter.
I'm just reading the chats, making sure I don't got no questions. I'm sorry.
I got a question though.
Okay.
I don't want you to go back.
Did you like what they?
You said something about white papers.
Yeah.
What are those?
All right, I'm gonna answer that question. They say
No, no, he
Ballaholic.
mute. He mute.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Y'all still here?
Got the river house.
I mean, the sides, the side scheme.
Oh,
Yeah, let us know if you still hear Ballaholic. White papers. So white papers are the legal, let's say the legalese framework of a blockchain when they're dealing with when they create a blockchain and they create crypto. So basically the company write out everything that this crypto does, the utility, the tokenomics, the everything you need to know about the project, the team, the goals, the roadmaps, all of that. Um, that's what it's dealing with. And when I say tokenomics, I'm saying the breakdown of, um, let's say if it's 100 million tokens, they break it down to what each the percentage of each token to do. Some tokens will be held for nodes or validators. Some tokens will be held for um, developers, and some tokens will be held for secondary markets. And speaking of secondary markets, when it comes back to the Clarity Act, the biggest one is the XRP. XRP is in a tricky spot, and I'm gonna break that down. I would break it down now. I'm gonna get back to it, but basically, if you've been paying attention to the lawsuit, it's saying that institutional sales of XRP was a security, but the secondary sales is not a security, and I'll break that down. What the judge was meaning by that. So with the Clarity Act, a lot of people think that once this once this bill get passed, that everything's just going to go up crazy. That's not the case. The case is the fact that you can see the Clarity Act is aligning itself with the MICA, MICA, which is just say the legal framework for the European Union. So everybody's going to be aligning themselves with each other, not really going under each other, but aligning themselves for a global economy when it comes to blockchain. So basically, I'm here to say that you need to align your portfolio with the Clarity Act, meaning you need to figure out what cryptos you have that is a security or what is a commodity under the Clarity Act by the definition. So, because everything just ain't gonna just go skyrocket. Some stuff just gonna have to go away. Like a couple of months ago, I think it's like early this year, the SEC deemed that meme coins are collectibles. So it has nothing to do with it being a security or a commodity. It's collectible. So to break that down, it'll be like what's a company? Let's say Coca-Cola. No, that's two. Let's say Starbucks. Starbucks they have a huge fan base. They have a lot of people that drink Starbucks. So Starbucks will create a meme coin, or let's say a collectible coin that you can use to buy coffee, redeem, and it'll be redeemed. It won't be like it's an exchange. It's more of a reward, a redeem. But because I control this, when I say control, I'm not talking about, concentration camps or stuff like that. Just more of, I have like an NFL team, like I control 10 million, fans, kind of like that. Because it's people that drink Starbucks that don't drink Dunkin' Donuts. So that's the control I'm talking about. So when they redeem those things, then that's a form of meme coin. But that doesn't really fall under Clarity. Well, they fall under the SEC when it comes to what will be redeemed, even with staking. Because in the future, because everything is so decentralized, deflationary, I'm sorry. Right now, you can stake it. They probably give you more of the same asset, but in the future, things going to be so deflationary that they just going to reward you something else rather than giving you the exact same asset.
When
It'll
you
be
say
kind of
stake,
okay. I'm
when
listening.
you say stake, what does that? What does that mean?
Staking is
When-
like basically, let's just say there's a liquidity pool created, and um, moving your assets into this liquidity pool and locking it up for a period of time. But you're doing that for the validators or the nodes or the people that created these pools. And when that happens, you get rewarded. Right now, you get more of the same asset. So it's kind of like for example, like a bank account has compound interest. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of the same concept. But the thing is, you get more money with compound interest and with your bank account. In the future, you'll just get rewarded a different asset, or let's say a different commodity, whatever it is. Or it could be a redeemed meme coin or a redeemable meme coin.
So staking would be me putting my money into a stable coin, and as my money's sitting in that stable coin, it's like a high yield savings account. But like instead of compound interest, I would just be getting paid some agreed upon price or whatever. Like they'll give me a certain amount of coins every quarter. Like what is that
Stable
close?
coins different. So stable coins are not deflationary. So stable coins have a treasury to where the treasury control how much, kind of like how the Federal Reserve control how much money is the M1, M2 money supply. That's how stable coins will work. So that'd be different because you probably can get more of the same stable coin if you stake in it. You see what I'm saying? Yes? No? Okay.
I kinda. Steph asked in the chat. She says it's similar to getting a dividend from a stock.
Dividends.
Isn't it something like that? I mean, I guess it would be close to something like that, right?
Yeah, it'd be closer to something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it would be close to something like that because it's like
Oh
you're
yeah,
getting a yield. You're ultimately getting enough tokens to get some sort of yield back. So I guess it would be just like buying, enough shares to get a certain amount of dividend back as well.
Right.
oh
So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So now to piggyback off that, with the CFTC, what they're saying is we don't want our accreditation to be under the SEC. We want our own version, but it'll be based on your knowledge. And I think what they're trying to do is make it easier for people to become accredited under the CFTC. I don't know how long it's going to be before they pass this, or how long do they already have a test ready. I just tell people that, hey man, I think it's smart that if you have a means of investing in knowledge, whether that's through classes, that's through tests, whatever it is, now's the time to be buying it and increasing your knowledge of these private markets. I think that's the biggest thing. And when they do that, like I say, they just don't want to be under the jurisdiction of the SEC, because the SEC controls all, really, majority of the crypto moves right now when it comes to how the market is moving, what can be created, especially with the ETFs and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing. But I don't think they're trying to shut people out of being accredited. I think they're really trying to give people a chance. But however, like I say, I think it will behoove people to actually start reading this legislation so they can align them to their portfolio, whatever they're holding, and use it. Like, you know, don't look at crypto as a security. Now that we own this subject, let's talk about the XRP. All right. The Judge Torres said that um, the secondary market sales was not a security. Was she right? So a security under the Howey test is I invest in Ripple. Ripple have an obligation to make me a profit. Even though there's a risk, they still have a contractual obligation to make me a profit. So that's a security. That's a investment contract, right? So I see traders look at, or investors, they look at XRP as a security, but then they clap and say, "Hey, XRP is not a security." But you still look at it as a security, and be like, "Oh, XRP finna go to $10,000." So when they go to $10,000, you're gonna sell it, and that's treating it like a security under the Howey test. Because if it's not a security, you'll just use it as a commodity, if you get what I'm saying. So the institutional sales are securities because they wasn't sold to retail investors. I mean, they have an obligation to make XRP uh, a profitable asset to those institutional investors. So that's the tricky part about that. And that's kind of why this clarity act need to be passed so they can get this out the way. Like, hey man, what is it? So yeah, and that's that leads to not looking at things from a USD standpoint, not looking at crypto as a security as it's going to go up and explode. And that's not, I think every crypto has its own valuation, really its own use case. You just got to read the white papers to know how to use it. It's kind of like if I'm in a garden and I got I got a hoe and a rake and a shovel. You know what I'm saying? And a water hose. All those things have different utilities, but all of them are important. So it ain't gonna be like, oh, this crypto is better than that one. No, it's all about who you are and what you're trying to do. You know, like for example, me, I'll be transparent. My 3 pillars that I use to determine if I'm getting into a crypto, and it's only me. This is my opinion. My three core pillars are tokenization, payments, and stablecoins. If you check off 2 of the 3 boxes, I'm reading your white papers. But if it's just one, I really don't really care for, you know? And that's just the biggest thing with me is like, that's how I determine, because I'm not I'm in the upland and digital real estate, but I'm really not into gaming when it comes to, getting on servers, getting in the metaverse and things like that. Um, pay to earn, like, I'm not really into that, but I am to collect the NFTs on Upland. But that's how I determine if I'm even going to read a white paper. So, and I don't want to ramble too much off of, like, lose focus off to the Clarity Act. So inside the Clarity Act, this is the big one. We do need cold wallets right now. We do need cold wallets right now. However, what's going to happen is banks gonna start having custodianship over digital assets. I kind of seen something with the FDIC to where they're allowing banks to create their own stable coins. And that was huge. Even Visa is about to start allowing people to use USDC to pay for things. So this is where things are going, That's why I'm gonna wait until we get into the Genius Act. But however, in the future, cold wallets won't be insured at all. So that's the biggest thing. So if somebody trying to stake on DeFi through a cold wallet, and that because it's not insured, and say if that liquidity pool was to drain or something happens, there's nobody you can cry to because everything is decentralized. And that's the kicker. And that's something, only thing I'm sorry.
I got a question for you when you finish.
No, I'm listening.
Do you think staking will just be a regulated entity, or will you think it'll stay decentralized?
It'll be decentralized. All right. So it's ways to prove your accreditation on staking. It's ways of doing that. And I use like the XRPL blockchain. I use them as one of the examples. They have something called the multi-purpose token, MPT. Basically, it's a NFT. It's a non-fungible token that can still act as a fungible token. So that means you can make payments with NFTs. However, on the back of these NFTs are smart contracts, and basically the KYC, like basically prove your accreditation either through your knowledge, and that'll be through your license and whatever it is, your Series 65 license, whatever, or through your valuation, meaning how much value do you have tokenized on your wallet? Because if you are accredited already, you already are enabled to tokenize or have access to the XRPL private ledger. Because we only see the public ledger as retail investors. We don't see the private side of things. So far as that, that's where things will go, where they'll just prove. And I think in the future, I don't think no non-bank entity or let's say institution, they're going to be dealing with social security numbers. I think all of them are going to be dealing with EIN numbers and businesses and persons. They're not really going to be dealing with natural beings. And that's kind of why avatars are so big now, to where I can create people with their image and likeness and have them doing businesses without them even knowing it. To answer your question?
It does. Yeah, it does. My fault. I was trying to find the mute button. Nah, yeah, no, for sure. I was just trying to figure out, kind of where all this was moving towards, as far as from a regulation standpoint, because I know staking is going to be, a huge part of, how you create more yield, with whatever asset that you currently have. Like you said, with the Starbucks
I think
example,
that's different. That's different. That's way different. That's like that's kind of like a fan base thing. Kind of like,
Okay,
playing on
yeah,
Fortnite.
okay, let's see what you're saying. Okay, all
Right.
right.
But to create that yield, like I say, all these cryptos are going to be commodities. What's going to separate them is if you can make money with these commodities, like you're saying, that turns that crypto into a security under the Clarity Act and the Howey test. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Far as like white papers, you can Google it. Like whatever crypto, I'm answering Dennis' question. Basically, you really can Google whatever crypto or blockchain you want. You can actually Google like where is XRP white papers or Coin white papers. Those things you could just Google, and or if you want to like to be certain, yeah, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, they have the website. You can go to their website, and then you could just they have a white paper button on their website, and white papers are legal forms, so they are very long to read. But if you know what you're looking at in terminology, then they'll tell you everything. My next topic, my next point was going to make is about
Appreciate that.
I got a question.
like I don't want to get into stable coins too much, but I'll just bring this up on what I
You heard
learned
the
recently.
Hold on, Nicole.
I
Yeah,
got a question. You
yeah, I'm
probably gotta
listening.
unmute him. You gotta unmute him from your computer.
Who?
You so you can hear him.
I know, but who?
Ballaholic.
Okay,
Oh, I got a question.
Hold on, Bala.
Can
He got to unmute you real quick.
he good.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, before you were talking about cold wallets being uninsured on the Clarity Act. So, what are other full custody options? Because I know that's something that's a big deal for some people, and including myself. So, what are some like full or self custody options? I'm sorry,
In the future or right now?
in the future.
In the future, banks have custody. So I'll give you a couple of banks that you can go look up. You know what I mean? And you'll see why the Federal Reserve won't get them a master account, because it will mess up the whole traditional finance or trade fi, if you want to say that. Because these banks are not backed by the FDIC, they're backed by digital assets, which is RWAs that's tokenized. So Custodia Bank, I'm gonna see if I can find their website. This was kind of the first one that came out. I'm about to put it in the chat. So this bank was the first to come out, and it was a digital asset bank, and it's backed 100% assets. I got a fintech I use, and what's crazy with this fintech is every bank account, I use it as a business account. Every bank account is like insured up to $250,000, right? This fintech I use called Mercury Bank, they are insured up to $5 million. And that's without being accredited or nothing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these are the things that because they're not basing it off credit and all this other stuff. They're basing it off, the money you got coming in, the habits, all the like. Has nothing to do with fabricated money. Far as what can you do now, I think the closest thing to custody for safe custody is Caleb and Brown. I don't use them because it's like I have crypto, but most of my, let's say, wealth is in land or RWAs. So, and I protect that with trust in the state. So, with that being said, I think not custodian, but Caleb and Brown be the closest thing to having a custody without you being, without having it on your person. Basically, you could just put it in a trust account. Far as like cold wallets are good now because you don't really trust the exchanges. Only thing with cold wallets is quantum computers. That's the scariest thing because Google is doing something with Willow, and what they're doing is they're really with these quantum entanglements. They're self-correcting these quantum entanglements to where they don't actually happen twice. So that's speeding up the process on how soon we will see quantum computers go online. And you kind of saw that. Y'all remember when that Amazon warehouse thing kicked off like a month ago? And everything kind of glitched. And if you pay attention, you seen that PayPal minted 300 trillion tokens. Like out of nowhere. Well, they minted 300 trillion stable coins. And what happened was they just burnt all of them. Oh, it was a glitch.
What you mean they meant it?
Basically a treasury. Like, just say the Federal Reserve created $300 trillion and they said, oh, it's a glitch. We're just going to get rid of it. You see what I'm saying?
So when you say mint it, they
They,
printed or
oh, man.
they created their own.
So when it comes to crypto, you can't print nothing. Everything is digital. So you mint it.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Kind of like a coin, but you mint it. And they minted something on another ledger, meaning there's another financial system that they minted it to, and then they burned it because it didn't affect the traditional finance. They had it over on the other, because they're going to be two economies. There's going to be the regular economy, then there's going to be the digital economy, but they're going to be parallel to each other. And you kind of can already feel that already when you moving money back and forth from the exchange to your cold wallet to your bank account. You kind of can feel that. But yeah, they minted 300 trillion tokens and just burned them. So that's what I mean by, hey man, it's getting we're getting closer to the time where you will see the true power of what blockchain really is. I'm reading the chat to see if I got any questions if I'm quiet. So I'm sorry. So back to the Clarity Act. The CFTC is going to be all right. So I'm gonna say this: if you don't deem that you need to be accredited, or you don't want to be accredited under the SEC, and you feel like, hey man, I don't really care about unregistered securities or staking and tokenization. I just want to use my crypto to buy my house, my car, and move around like that. Then I will focus on more cryptos that are commodities, then focus on cryptos that are securities under the Clarity Act. And if that right there, because even if you know a little bit about the public, the private markets and things like that, I don't think they'll create a strenuous test to make people more privy to being accredited under the CFTC. because it won't be about your valuation anymore. It just be about your knowledge. But yeah, I would get more commodities if I didn't care about if I didn't care about tokenization. Any other questions? All right, so we have how many? We got like 26 minutes left. So the floor is open. I don't want to ramble too much and give you guys too much information.
Well, for me, I mean,
Spill over the beans, man. Tell me
nah,
everything, man.
Uh
you know how long it took you to kind of get me. I was kind of stuck in my ways with like trading stocks and options and currencies and stuff like that. And you tried to introduce me to crypto a long time ago, and I was kind of like brushing it off. And I'm now getting myself, I guess, uh, leveraged, or it's like taking my money and trying to figure out ways of being a part of just being in the get put some skin in the game. But I don't believe in trading crypto, and
yeah,
obviously you don't either. So
no.
the only way I would really get into crypto is from this lens right here, where I just need to know how to leverage myself for whatever's to come and whatever's about to change. Because I don't care to trade crypto. I mean, there's multiple ways of making money trading. I chose mine. So I don't care to trade crypto. But if I am to um I guess find ways to, I don't know, leverage my money to, and I don't want to look at it as like leveraging my money for like investment purpose. Like I really want to know how to, like, I guess, utilize it according to whatever the way things are gonna change. Like I don't want to even look at it as like I'm
Security.
gonna put my money in a, yeah, security. Like I don't want to look at it as security, period. Like so with everything you just said, like for somebody like me, I don't even know my direction, bro. Like when you sat here and said the last part about figuring out, whatever you just said about figuring out if you are this type of person or this type of person, bro. I don't even know what type of person I am when it comes to like um buying. I don't want to keep saying buying crypto because I know you keep telling me not to think of it as like a
Oh, you are
security.
buying, you're acquiring it. So you're acquiring crypto. So not to cut you off, but basically with everything you just told me, you'll be more of a commodity guy. So you'll be like, all right, what cryptos are created for stablecoin, decentralized payments and stablecoins. Now the only hybrid that I see where it could be a commodity and a security is Stellar. Because Stellar is peer-to-peer payments, but they do tokenize a lot of things. So that's the only one that I'm kind of skeptical about, where I can't just be like, hey, Stellar be a great commodity to um, read the white papers on. Tailcoin is a great one. Um, Especially they just opened a banking charter in Nebraska. Like I say, they can't get federal master accounts because it would destroy the traditional um, trade.
Okay,
So
and how will I? Okay, so you say I'm a commodity. I'm gonna have a commodity. I'm most likely gonna move towards the commodity route. Cool.
right.
How do I benefit from that? Like, how am I gonna benefit from that? Like, in what way will I benefit from that?
Okay. So now let's get into like Visa and MasterCard and things we use every day, right? So they already using it for payments, stable coins for payments. And that's what I brought up, the USDC. You could pay for things with USDC with Visa. So just think of anything that you want to do that you do every day and you pay for things. You'll be doing the same thing with these commodities. So there's something called the quant overledger. And if you go look at the quant overledger, you'll see all of the companies and payment APIs that's already connected to the blockchain. So Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Bank of America, all these banks, all of these things are already connected. Walmart Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Amazon Pay. All of these things are already created for you to use with ease. The thing is, it won't be like when I go, like, let's say you want to buy a car. It ain't gonna be like, hey, give me $50,000 worth of Tailcoin. No, the valuation will already be set, and they'll just ask, give me 5, 10 Tailcoin for this car. So you can equate the USD value by that, but it fluctuates based on because everything is deflationary and the burn rate. So that's where things kind of get the value kind of increase or stabilize where it is based on the utility, how many people are using it. So if you go read the white papers and what they're doing with Tailcoin, you'll see that, it's for cross-border payments from peer-to-peer. So MoneyGram, I know people think Stellar do that, but that's why I say Stellar is huge in tokenization. It ain't just about peer-to-peer payments, but Tailcoin is huge in peer-to-peer payments, especially when it comes to cross-border payments from country to country. And, if I got family in Mexico, I could just send them some crypto or a payment, stable coin through that. And that's how that'll work. And that's how you'll just move around. So let's say if you buy groceries in Walmart Pay is already connected to the Quant over ledger. So it's not far-fetched for you to think that is Walmart going to accept crypto as a payment. So I'll give you a story, man. I was working at Walmart and my district manager came in and I was just asking, I said, hey, will Walmart ever accept crypto as a payment? She's like, I don't see it happening right now, but I'm gonna say this. Walmart always changes its policy towards legislation. So whatever legislation is, Walmart will update its policy. So that's all you waiting for, legislation. Like you can't just go and just be like, oh, we're gonna do this, especially when nothing is insured. So that's how that'll work. But if you pay attention to the quant overledger, you'll see what I'm saying. Like it'll come with ease. And most of your products will be on QR codes. But we'll get into that another subject.
Appreciate that, my brother.
Any other questions? But like, man, it ain't hard. And this stuff ain't like they're trying to destroy nothing. It's just I think people gotta drop this fiat ideology of crypto is gonna be like fiat. It ain't gonna be like that. It's gonna destroy it. But not in a bad way, but in a way of it's just like you hear prison stories. Like people go to prison, they be like, man, I'll get you killed for 200 bucks. And food is food. But once food becomes overvalued and scarce like that, now it becomes a commodity. So 500 bucks might be a case of cigarettes. You see what I'm saying?
I'm about to give a real
So,
God example.
but it's like, but you gotta equate all these things based on, 5 XLM, maybe 1 XRP, or maybe 10 XD, whatever it is. All these things will have their own valuation, and those will be set by the institutions that's going to be implementing this new system. So it ain't gonna be like, oh, the market cap of this is going to be this. It ain't gonna, and it ain't gonna be like that. And that's just what it is. And because I know I didn't bring this up in the beginning, but basically we're going into a circular economy, and I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to explain it too much, and I didn't want to lose you guys. But basically, you can't have a blockchain economy or crypto economy with an inflationary economy. It won't work. Like people are waiting for Bitcoin to go to 300,000. It can, and it will. However, if it does, what would the economy look like? Because that shows you that inflation is through the fucking roof. Excuse my French. It's through the roof. Like silver is $66 right now. You see what I'm saying? So all these things have negative correlation to the economy. So if all these things are going up in value, it may look good, but it's the natural world that we live in is being destroyed or is being transferred to something else, which is blockchain. So that's why I'm trying to get people to not look at it as security, like, oh man, I'm about to put my money in this, I'm about to put $1,000 in this, and once it turned to 100,000, I'm gonna take it out and put it back into the system that's failing. That's what I'm saying. I don't want people to do that. Like keep it in there, but know how to use it. And if you don't want to get into tokenization and all that other stuff, go into commodities. And these commodities will be used for payments. So just like you got the dollar in your pocket, you'll be using these cryptos in your wallet, but you'll just be scanning QR codes and things like that.
I think what a lot of people could benefit from as far as like figuring out what the utility of these different coins is and like what's going to be valuable to them. Like Dennis said, he's looking for a direction of what his identity is going to be in the blockchain. I think like going to CoinGecko or coinmarketcap.com and like reading not only the white paper, but like each coin has a summary. It'll ask like a question, what is Solana? What makes
Right.
Solana unique and different stuff like that. So I think, that's a good place to start.
Right. And that's a great place to start because now you can get a small synopsis of what it is. And you be like, oh, okay, how does this align with the clarity at? Like I give you an example. People love IOTA and Coin, but oh, they ISO compliant and this and that and that. But if you read the white papers, it has nothing to do with payments. It has everything to do with institutional building infrastructure. So if you don't know how to code and build decentralized applications and this and that and staking, and you don't want to be accredited, man, leave Quant and IOTA alone because it has nothing to do with payments, decentralized payments. And you're going to find yourself in a hard place not being able to use these certain cryptos because you are looking at it from a USD standpoint or you're looking at it from a point of a security from the Howey test, and it's not the case. So, and yeah, white papers can be boring, but that's where you get the factual stuff at. Just like the government, whitehouse.gov, or that's where you get factual stuff, like not CNN, not financial influencers on YouTube. Because as you can see, all these guys are going down, so you have to read things for yourself and then have an interpretation of what these white papers really say. So yeah, but other than that, I just think that this is a great act the implement.
Hey,
And
Mongoose, mute your mic.
I don't know if y'all saw this like a week ago. The teachers union wrote a letter to the Senate stating that they don't want this act to be passed because it'll mess up their pension fund. You will expose their pension fund to uncharted territories. Like they don't know what it is. You see what I'm saying? And it's a lot of teachers in this union. So I'm not saying they're not gonna pass it or just consider these teachers, but I don't know because how they dismantling the Department of Education, I don't know how this stuff gonna go, man. But this act is not it's not meant to make everything go up. It's really meant to set the record straight on what things are really are. Kind of like ripping the veil off. And it's like, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do tonight. Like, hey, not without saying a lot, because it's like I don't want to be nobody financial advisor, but it's mainly just, hey, just don't look at things as a security from the Howey test. Like, if you put your money over here, put your money in things that you're going to be using. And if you don't see yourself using something for tokenization, staking, whatever it is, whatever you're not into, don't put your money in it because there's no place. I'm sorry.
Hey, real quick, hey, Dennis, can you send High Vibes the link? Because he's been trying to get in here and he said he can't get in here.
But yeah, any other questions?
My bad. Tell him to go to the general chat and the link is in the general chat. I'll post it in there.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling him. He said he was in there. I'll try. Give me 1 second.
I see. I just got a message from him as well. Let me see. But yeah, any other that's mainly I got to say about the Clarity Act. Now if there's any other questions outside of the Clarity Act that you guys want to ask, I'm open to answer. I'm gonna call somebody out. Wes, Stank World. I know you got a question, bro, or if you even listening.
What stink? What was that? Oh,
Yeah. Well, I guess he don't got a question. But yeah, yeah, it's all about alignment, man. Just aligning your portfolio. But it's cryptos out there that's only meant for buying cars. Like it's a lot of cryptos that you can like. It's you know what I mean, like tokenizing cars and VIN numbers and creating a dealership market for you could just buy cars. Like it's cryptos out there that do that. And all I'm saying is you just got to read the white papers. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna put it in the chat so you guys, so I can show y'all an example of like if you read white papers instead of the um all right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he just Ballaholic just said that. He said, "Can you send the link?" He said he don't see the link, so I don't know if you can send it again or what.
I'm not sure that to his DM.
Uh,
Okay. But yeah, I just like I said, I just want people to align themselves and don't look at this as this crypto is better than that crypto or this tool is better than that tool. Because I'm gonna be honest, man, all these white boys or Jewish, whatever you want to call them, all these guys went to MIT. All these guys know each other. All these guys went to class together. All these guys build with each other. So it's not like they trying to compete. They're actually interoperable with each other, aligning themselves. It's not like everybody competing. It may look like that on the internet, but it's not that. So it ain't like, oh, Ethereum will be better than this, and it ain't gonna be like that. It's just different use cases.
Yeah, when you were talking, I guess I kind of started to connect stuff by thinking about. Once again, it's not me thinking about currencies and I mean, like trading, but kind of is. But like, you know how you have exchanges where if I go to a country, I exchange my coins in their country to spend money over there and stuff like that.
Right, right. The forex market, right.
Like, I don't know. I was just connecting. Like when you said cryptos, like cryptos are going to have different use cases for whatever scenarios, and I'm just thinking about currencies in general across the world. How we all been using different, not cryptocurrencies, but we've all been using different forms of, I guess exchange or buy and sell in different countries or whatnot. And obviously, like you said, they're worth different stuff. Like you said, a honey bun over here might be worth 10 cigarettes or something, whatever you had said. Like, but I'm thinking about how the US dollar is worth this over here, and you go to, I don't know, Asia and the yen or something is worth whatever. Like, and I guess I'm just thinking about it that way. But that's, I don't know, because now that I'm thinking about it that way, it still doesn't matter because you're still spending money on the same stuff. You're just spending a
So
different weight of money on the same stuff. But with crypto, you're saying that the use case is for specific stuff.
right, and I'm gonna say this: don't look at crypto as a country. Like, oh, this crypto is only meant for China. It's crypto has no domain at all. That's why it's so dangerous. And that's kind of why they was trying to get rid of TikTok, because TikTok's gonna put a Web3 address, Web3 wallets inside the app. And that was gonna pull a lot of that traditional finance money out and put it on the DeFi market. And then man, that was gonna crumble. It's gonna disrupt the economy. Because that TikTok shop, boy, it boomed. Crypto is a commodity. All these cryptos are gonna be commodities based on they just gonna have a set value globally. It ain't gonna be like, oh, this is worth this in China, but it's worth more over here in Japan. It ain't gonna be like that because everybody's aligning themselves. That's why I brought up the MiCA and how the Clarity Act is aligning with MiCA. So everybody ain't gonna be under the same jurisdiction, but they're all aligning with each other. So
I was just going to say one thing that might help people when they're just trying to, go through doing the research. I mean, tools like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, they have like a sector section. So for me, I'm more into like the health sector. So like, they have like, the top trending coins, for whatever date that is. And you can just kind of narrow down your search that way, kind of get into things you're more into. I mean, if you're into like gaming, metaverse stuff, they have sectors for that with like Sandbox and all the top utilities for like the gaming verse. And same with like real world or RWA tokens. All these things have certain sectors, and use the tools that you have like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and other tools of that nature to try to narrow your search down, because sometimes it's hard to just and overwhelming to just look at all this stuff on the general list. When you break it down for what what's applicable to your life, and then just break that down, it makes it a little easier to kind of narrow down what aligns with the Clarity Act and what aligns with you personally.
right, like
Appreciate that.
the biggest thing that I'm into is like I told you, tokenization and payments. It's a coin called Jam, and Jam is I'm not shilling this coin. I'm just giving you the utility of it. It's tokenizing music, and Snoop Dogg partnered with this company, and he put all his music off these streaming platforms and put it in the metaverse, and that's where he put it at. I tokenized my music and put it over there. So it's another form of streaming. You go, man, I got a VR right now. You can have VR concerts, and that's huge because now nobody got to be in no event. We could just watch Beyonce from our house, and I know that's kind of weird, but that's kind of where things are going. You know, if you pay attention to the World Economic Forum, I'm sorry. But yeah,
Black Mirror.
It's weird, but I can see that being useful for events where like I've seen it used recently where now they have a virtual attendance for NBA games where you got all these people that
right,
paid to be at this sold out arena, but I got a courtside seat on VR, right?
right.
So it's like we're still watching on TV. Or same way if somebody watched a Beyonce concert on TV, I'm in China and she's performing in America. You got a whole damn country that can pay to get a ticket up close via VR. You see what I'm saying? So I can kind
Right.
of see that.
And that's huge, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, that's where things are going. Like it ain't about it's really about engagement, like social engagement. And you kind of know that because all these companies are opening B Corps and getting their B Corp certification. Because B Corp is a for-profit company for social um basically social issues or social problems, solving social problems. And that's where things are going. So it's all about engagement. And I ain't really want to get on this road, but like I said, I'm gonna just wait for that to the next time. I don't want to ramble too much about that. But
Yeah, because we got
um,
things left.
yeah, and I don't want to give too many people so much information. And I'm like, if you guys are cool with staying on, I can stay on and answer questions. But not to ramble too much off the clarity yet. But yeah, this like I say, it's only to set things straight. And once it's set straight, if you align correctly, you'll be okay. But like I say, a lot of people are into a lot of securities based on the Clarity Act and the definition of the Clarity Act, and they don't even know it because they keep looking at it as a security from the Howey test, and that's crazy. Like You finna put your money in another economic system, and you finna determine the value of this currency or this asset based on the economic system that you just left. And then once this currency increases, you're gonna pull it out of the economic system that we're going to, and you're finna put it back into the economic system we're leaving. And that's so backwards to me. It's like, no, man, you just shot yourself in the foot. Leave it over there. But if you're gonna put something over there, put it in something that you're going to use. If you don't know how to code and all this other, man, don't be getting into these things because you don't know how to use it. But if you only, if you know you want to buy things, focus on cryptos. That's for commodities. So, like Stronghold, like, all right, Trump just signed the executive order, just made, weed a Schedule 3 drug. And if you pay attention to what Stronghold is doing in the cannabis market, you'll see how huge that is. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a commodity because it's decentralized payments and stable coins. But it's a stable coin based on the algorithm, not peg 1-to-1. So that's a huge, blockchain or crypto to when it comes to commodities. And if you don't want to deal with being accredited, use that. But okay, I'm gonna use Stronghold. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use Tailcoin. I'm gonna go get some USDC. Those are the things I'll be looking at. Even Jam is for payments, for paying artists, so it's for payments. So that's what I'm saying. Like, get things that's for payments. Don't just buy a whole bunch of securities and thinking you finna pay for things with these securities. Now you can, but these things are gonna require some accreditation because the things you're gonna be paying for are gonna be tokenized things that you're not accredited to have access to. If you get what I'm saying. Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Like I
What's
said, I don't
next?
want to.
What's the next
All right.
session?
The next session gonna be the Genius Act. That's where I break down stable coins and basically these payment APIs and why they're using them, why they're minting, um, why states are coming up with their own stable coins, how stable coins are going to reshape the monetary system to where you'll have pockets of economies. And that's why I keep saying the word commodity, because you're gonna have to become a commodity. It's not like I can go to Florida and if I'm from New York and I could just go and spend Florida money if I'm not privy to the value of how Florida move, because everything gonna be a digital nation or a virtual country. Basically, all the value of this real world, wherever you at, is gonna be tokenized onto a blockchain. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of manifestation of value. And you'll be like, man, he only 16. How he got a Lamborghini? How you got that? Playing video games or stuff like that. The economic outlook of how things will go. I don't really do timelines of how things are gonna go, but we all grown, so we all know what we need to do. We all know what we need to get to the next step. My biggest thing is for this cause is to create a space, especially a crypto space, to where we just it's a vibe, but we really need to start being serious about what these things are and how we're going to be moving forward in a community. That's the biggest thing because, like I say, money would be no longer physical. So if it's not physical anymore, it will be energy. So it'd be something we can't see, but we're using it. So that's all it'll be. But then, like I say, food can be energy. It can, you know, if you know how to grow food, and it can really be, you really can set yourself apart. The way things are going. So these next 2 weeks, these next 2 Thursdays are going to be holidays. So Christmas, I'm not really going. I don't want to get back home because I don't want to disturb nobody holidays and with their family, and I'm not going to be home either. However, the Thursday or the 1st of January, I probably get on just to have an economic outlook, and then that following Thursday, the 8th, then we'll get into the Genius Act. Like, let's just get the holidays past us, and then the 8th of January, we'll break down the Genius Act and what stable coins and how they're gonna reshape things. So that's how things will go. And I'm trying to make myself more accessible to, being on Web3 or, social media. So that's how things are gonna go.
Sound good. And you know what I'm saying, the crypto chat always gonna be open for questions and
Right,
stuff.
right. So like Dennis say, I don't trade crypto because crypto is it's not something that you trade for value. It's something that like you acquire it because you're gonna use it. So there's no reason to be trying to look at it as a security. So I don't trade it. But like I said, when I did trade, I was more into futures than trading crypto. I think now is the time to be acquiring and storing it. Like, man, just taking your fiat and moving it to something. Either it's a RWA, uh, crypto, whatever it is. Move it to something, a ETF, but move it to something that's going to be useful. Don't move it to something that's going to get left behind. And I think we'll get into that on Thursday of how we look at how things are going to be affected because we can't be saying everything going to be tokenized and then we still want a high yield savings account. It's an oxymoron. It ain't going to work because tokenization frees everything. But we'll get into that later. So yeah, that's how things will go.
Hey man, shout out to Corey for putting this together, man.
Yeah,
Dropping
man.
good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to
Appreciate
make
Yeah.
you,
people.
man.
Say that, my boy. And who the hell just did that clapping noise?
Yeah.
Uh, sound boy. I gotta learn how to work that.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just like I say, man, it's just gonna be a space to vibe, man. But we ain't playing. Like ain't gonna be no playing. But it's like, hey, these things are happening, and um, learning how to get RWAs, learning how to really apply to get these things so you can and protecting yourself. That's a huge one. Nobody talks about like protecting. But yeah, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long because I got to pack to go to Florida tomorrow, so I'm about to holler at y'all.
All right, my.
Man.
But if
Good
y'all have
y'all.
any questions, just hit me on my DMs.
All right, bro. Oh, Diddy, I got you. You know I couldn't leave without a joke, man.